Right, so today we're going to be making the concave bar shoe. Quite a simple shoe. However, one of the from a shoemaking point of view, if we're trying to make a nice one, it's because it's concave, it's a little less forgiving than flat steel. So we've got to be careful with the forging. We've got to be careful not to pinch it up. Whereas if we pinch it up with a flat shoe, we can work it back down. Concave, like I say, it's not as forgiving, and it will show all our mistakes up. So basically, we've got a wooden foot. I'm just going to make it for here. We've got 5 1/4, 5 3/4. Add that together. It's 11. Add 2 1/4 from the toe bend, so that's 13 1/4. And then I'm going to measure from the centre of my heel to where I want to fit the shoe to, which is roughly on the outside border there, 1 3/4. What I normally do is I round this up to the nearest, so it'll be about 2 inches, because we're going to flip the material up and forge it back down, and we want to leave some material in there to give it the support we need and to cover the heel. We don't want to be stretching out and making it too thin. That's the bit where we want to have more shoe, more support. Okay. So we're going to mark it at 2 inches. It's 1 3/4 we want, so 1 3/4, that's 3.5 inches. So add that, 3.5 to 13 1/4, that's 16 3/4. That's a rough guide. As I say, with all these shoes, we all forge a bit differently. Some of us have to overcompensate, put more in the toe, put more in the heels, etc. So the only way we're going to actually be able to be concise with this is by practicing. Because the more you practice, the more efficient you'll be with your steel, and the less you'll stretch it. And also, you'll know yourself, with the way you forge, how your material stretches. So practice is really important. So, same with all the bar shoes I make. I'm literally just going to put a very light centre dot, because by the time I've welded it and forged it, you sometimes find that the shoe will twist a little bit, etc., and spin round. So I'll put all the features into the shoe once I've welded it and forged it, because I know it's in the right place at that point. So again, from the end of the material there, mark the inside border at 2 inches. Okay, so I know where I'm going to flick up my hockey stick. And I want to be generous with the hockey sticks, because, if we come up a little bit short, we can always work. If we've got a chunky bar, we can work it out. Out of learning, it's sometimes easy to practice your hockey sticks actually on a straight piece of steel. For this, we're actually putting the toe bend in first. The importance with the toe bend on this is actually in front of us, we've got like 16 and a half, 17 inches of steel. A common practice is people then try and put a 17-inch toe bend in. Remember, the shoe we're making is basically a 13 1/4 inch shoe, so we've got to put a 13 1/4 inch toe bend into the shoe itself. But just normal procedure for making a toe bend. But you've got to make sure it's the right toe bend for that shaped foot, unless you're just making stock. What I've done is I've just quickly hockey sticked and turned the outside branch, or the first branch. Obviously we're going to break it down now and go through the process. So first thing we're going to do is, on a concave, I'd just like to close the end of the concave up before I start forming the hockey stick. This just stops splits from occurring, and it's just easier to get a squarer edge on it. Not making a full hill, just literally just knocking the corners in. Again, where our dot is at 2 inches is for this size shoe. We're just turning the hockey stick over. It's important that we do not squash the section from the heel to the heel quarter. Okay, so try air hitting it, try avoid squashing it against the back of the anvil. We don't want to forge it quite up to a right angle, and then we're going to hold the anvil with a branch flat on the face the anvil, and we're going to drive the hockey stick into the corner. Trouble with concave, it will twist, distort and buckle a lot more than flat steel will, so we have to control it. Couple of hits, level it up, couple of hits. And as we drive the hockey stick down, again we've got to forge it back out to our the shape that we want our frog plate. Not a great deal of difference between the flat shoe and the concave bar shoe, you know, except for, you know, we've just got to put a bit more material into the bar because we're not going to be able to forge it out as much as we would do with flat steel, and it's not as forgiving. Just set your scarf down. You know, lots of people do it different ways. But again, remember to set it down before you close the shoe up because it's very difficult to get in. So we start to shape the shoe. Rather than fight it, cold one side, hot the other, and make a distorted shape, get an all over heat, and just consolidate the shape of the shoe at this point. You'll save a lot more time. Getting that extra heat to do it will save you a lot of time later on. But it's important we try and get as much of the foot shape into that shoe before we weld it, and symmetry. Once it's welded, it becomes very difficult to reshape. Once we've got the shape and we're happy with it, obviously get our flux and just cover the weld, cover all the gaps. This helps keep it clean and makes welding a lot more easier. Again, slap and tap however you weld. You know, I like to get the weld in, then work on my scarves. As soon as it's stuck, start forging it over the bick of the anvil. Again, try not to lose your corners and try not to lose the web from the heel to the heel quarter. Tactically using the bick and air hitting either side, like so, will stop that from happening. And again, just where the concave has closed up from the heel to the heel quarter, and just very lightly open it up again with a fuller. This isn't a flat bottom fuller, this is just a bog standard fuller, but it's enough just to push the top edge of the fuller in on the concave section back out again. Obviously now we're going to work on the frog clip. My preferred method of doing it is like drawing a clip, but just go up through the bick of the anvil and work that back edge down on the foot surface, and then get back into the ground surface of the round side of the hammer. Obviously it's important that the foot surface is perfectly flat, and again, hammering the frog clip down in such a way just relieves a bit of traction off the back part of the foot to reduce jarring. Again, concave shoe, predominantly the horse will be working on the soft. Okay, so I'm just forging the frog clip into the shape I want it over the bick of the anvil and just squaring up the back of the bar. Lastly, just going to get my fuller again and just join up the concave from heel to heel. Again, that will give us a little bit more spread and a little bit more support across the back of the bar. Obviously it's important I'm not using a flat bottom fuller, but it's important we don't go all the way through the steel. And then just joining it all up to the heels. Don't need to do this, it looks pretty, and it, like I say, will give you a little bit more width of the actual section. Again, if we need to increase the width around the heels, around the bar, you know, hammer box it before we rasp it all off, and that will just spread the section a little bit. They just, normal nail holing, make sure we put adequate pitch on it. I think for this shoe, if I was to clip it, I'd put core clips on it, or side clips. So when I'm doing that, I tend to put 8 nail holes in and pull my clip between the second and third as opposed to the first and second. This allows me to get the toe underneath the toe of the foot to actually achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Lastly, because that's what I'm doing, I'm not putting a toe clip on it, so I'm just folding the edge of the outside border of the toe over a little bit and then hammering it down. This kind of gives it an equilibrium, sort of like roller motion toe effect, again because I'm trying to help easy breakover. So lastly, just going to get an all over heat on the shoe. Again, bar shoes are notoriously difficult to shape when they're not got an even heat all over. Just a consolidation heat, just to square up the bar, checking the shoe with my ruler to make sure I'm happy with the shape, I'm happy with the sizing, then to take it over to fit it to the foot. Obviously this is a wooden foot and it's got no clip holes in it, so I'm actually just making a shoe shape. I would put side clips on it, but obviously I want it to fit this wooden foot. And making sure the toe's still symmetrical and it's the white rip to fit it underneath the toe. So here you go, it's on the foot. I'm supporting the inside of the bars and the buttress of the heel. It's in the centre of the section. You know, I've got a good all-round coverage of the foot, nice and supporting. You know, this is obviously for a horse which needs support, so you can't fit bar shoes tight. There's no point. It's got to be the right size. Okay, I've got a nice bit of support around the sides and around the back. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coming soon.